Okay, so now let's look into the other kind of fine print of your degree plan that you need to be aware of. So this is for a Bachelor of Social Work degree. If you look at the bottom right-hand side of your degree plan, you're going to see a section called Other Requirements. And I like to call this fine print requirements because there's a lot of them are just basic rules, a blanket across the university. And some of these requirements are just specific to social work students. And it usually has to do with GPA or specific amount of hours that you have to take at UT and so forth. So every student at UT has to have a minimum of a 2.0 to graduate. And then we have a specific requirement within the School of Social Work that your courses have to have a 2.5 for social work classes specifically. You do have to take 24 hours of social work courses at UT. Out of all of your classes that you need to graduate, you need to have at least 60 hours in residence. This means you have to have at least 60 hours taken at UT Austin. So if you're a transfer student, that's something that you might want to pay attention to, just depending on how many courses you've transferred into UT. Another requirement is we do require you to have 43 upper division hours total to graduate, but typically you're going to get this taken care of through your major classes that are upper division and these upper division social behaviors courses. So typically that number gets met automatically, but it is something that you want to be aware of in general. And then of those 43, which will also usually happen pretty naturally, you have to have at least 24 of them taking at UT, 24 hours. And then overall, you have to have 122 hours to graduate. This number does vary from different types of degrees at UT. The minimum credit hours for any degree at UT is 120. There are some schools that require 125 or 126. So that's just something for you to be mindful of if you're chatting with your friends and they are telling you a different number. That's because it is different than you as a social work student. We have some other fine print here that there are a max amount of hours that you can take in a specific one subject, a max amount of hours coming from the School of Social Work, and then a maximum amount of hours for pass fail. And those classes can only be electives. If you have questions about this and whether a class is eligible for this, I highly encourage you to come in and speak with the BSW advisor to make sure that your class is indeed eligible for a pass fail option. So whenever you're looking at your degree audit, this is a fake student. So this is not a real student record. I just want to be clear there. When you're looking at your degree audit and you want to see where those fine print requirements are, you're going to scroll down your degree audit to the very bottom section here where you can start seeing, okay, here are those GPA requirements coming in where we talked about your university GPA, we talked about your major specific GPA, and then these are those in residence hours as well as your overall degree total hours. So that's pretty much what you need to know as far as your fine print of your degree plan, if you will. It is important that you are tracking these every time you come in for academic advising. Your advisor is going to, be making sure you're staying on track here and letting you know sometimes you have to take an elective to reach in residence hours, or maybe you need an elective to reach upper division or potentially your overall hours. So we'll be touching base with you during your advising appointments to make sure that you're staying on track for these as well. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to come in for advising or send us an email or just reach out to BSW Advising.